Water, this element that surrounds and sustains us, holds a power that few truly understand. In Greek mythology, Poseidon, the god of the seas, is the living embodiment of this power, not just as a destructive force, but also as a symbol of renewal and absolute control. When we talk about water, whether fresh or salty, we are speaking of the essence of life and death, of the beginning and the end. And what if I told you that Poseidon, with his ability to devastate civilizations or fertilize the land with a single wave, carries the secret of transformation in the depths of his domain? Perhaps what fascinates us most is that water, like our own lives, can be both serene and devastating, offering deep lessons for those brave enough to face it. Have you ever stopped to think about how Poseidon's power reflects our own daily battles? Poseidon is not just the ruler of the seas, but an indomitable force capable of shaping the world to his will. Imagine being on a boat, in the midst of a sudden storm, and realizing that the sea is not just water. It's life, it's power, it's unpredictable. Just like Poseidon himself, he is not limited to the seas. His fury can shake the earth, causing devastating earthquakes. This control over nature is a reminder that, in mythology, the gods are always beyond our comprehension. After all, who could compete with the absolute dominion of the seas and the earth? Furthermore, Poseidon holds another title, the god of horses. He not only creates but also shapes the creatures that became essential in Greek history and mythology. Horses, present in battles, transportation, and even myths, emerge from the direct connection between the god and men. It's as if, by offering these creatures, Poseidon was giving a piece of his essence to humans. If you stop to think, whenever the ancient Greeks looked at a horse, they saw not just an animal but a divine gift, something that connected them directly to their god. Now, Poseidon's power is revealed not only in what he creates but also in what he destroys. His tsunamis and earthquakes are manifestations of his uncontrollable fury, capable of altering history with a single strike of his trident. Similarly, in our lives, some storms seem to come out of nowhere, shaking our foundations. And just as the ancients offered sacrifices to Poseidon to calm the waters, today, we also seek ways to face our daily storms, hoping that calm will soon return. The creation of horses by Poseidon is one of the most fascinating stories in Greek mythology. In a moment of rivalry and a desire to leave his mark, the god of the seas brought these majestic creatures into the world. For the Greeks, horses were not just animals. They symbolized power, speed, and a connection with the divine. Imagine being able to ride one of these divine creations, feeling the wind and freedom, knowing that, in some way, it was a gift from the gods. It's no wonder that, even today, horses are seen as noble beings, full of strength and elegance. Horses played a vital role in the history of ancient Greece. Whether in battles, transporting warriors, or in races, entertaining the crowds, they were always present. Poseidon, by creating these creatures, gave men a powerful tool for their conquests. If we reflect, the creation of horses was more than an act of strength. It was a demonstration of how the gods could directly influence the daily lives of mortals. The Greeks used horses to win wars, carry out daily tasks, and even compete in the famous Olympics. Poseidon is often depicted riding seahorses, creatures that fuse the wild and the aquatic, reinforcing his connection to both elements. This image of the god being pulled by these mythological beings reflects the harmony he created between the sea and the land. For us mortals, it serves as a reminder of how we can shape the world around us when we find balance in the forces surrounding us. Just as Poseidon gifted the Greeks with horses, we are capable of transforming our abilities into tools that drive our daily achievements. Poseidon is known for his explosive and unpredictable temper, traits that made him a god feared by both humans and the gods themselves. His fury was so intense that, when angered, he could provoke earthquakes, tsunamis, and other natural disasters. Imagine the impact this had on the lives of ancient civilizations, which depended so much on the sea for their livelihood. Greek coastal cities lived with the uncertainty that, at any moment, an action by Poseidon could change their lives forever. This destructive force is a reflection of what happens when power is unchecked. Poseidon's volatile nature also serves as a reminder of how human emotions can influence the world around us. How many times have we been caught in a wave of anger or frustration that shakes everything in our lives? Just as Poseidon caused destruction with his wrath, we too can end up creating emotional earthquakes when we fail to control our own internal storms. If there's something we can learn from him, it's that, like the sea, our emotions need to be navigated carefully. The other gods feared Poseidon's unstable behavior, and this speaks volumes about his power. After all, who would want to face the wrath of the god of the seas? He was a force that could alter the course of Greek history and mythology with a single gesture. His impulsive behavior makes us think about how patience and emotional control are essential to prevent our own decisions from creating tsunamis in our lives. In the end, Poseidon teaches us that even the most powerful forces, if not balanced, can turn against us. Poseidon's relationship with Amphitrite, one of the beautiful Nereids, began with a touch of rejection. Initially, Amphitrite refused the advances of the sea god, desiring to maintain her freedom. But Poseidon, persistent like the tides, did not give up so easily. He sent a dolphin to convince her that her place was by his side. It was with this strategy that Amphitrite finally accepted his proposal, becoming the queen of the seas. This story reminds us that sometimes initial resistance can be overcome with patience and the right actions, a good parallel to the challenges we face in our relationships. Interestingly, the dolphin that helped Poseidon in this mission was rewarded in a special way. It was given a constellation in the sky. This shows that even in mythological stories, small acts of kindness or assistance can be greatly recognized. For us, what may seem like a simple gesture or a brief help can, in fact, completely change the course of events. How many times have we underestimated the importance of unexpected support that ends up bringing surprising results? Amphitrite, after marrying Poseidon, became a central figure in the seas, standing by her husband's side. Despite living with a temperamental god, she carried out her role with grace and serenity, balancing Poseidon's fury with her own calm. This mythical marriage teaches us about the power of balance in our relationships. Poseidon, the stormy sea, found in Amphitrite a safe harbor, showing that even the most untamable forces can be calmed in the presence of a stabilizing influence. And so, we move forward to the next part of this fascinating narrative. The contest between Poseidon and Athena for the city of Athens is one of the most emblematic stories in Greek mythology. Both gods wanted the honor of being the city's patron, and, to achieve that, they needed to offer a gift that would impress the inhabitants. Poseidon, in his grandeur, struck his trident into the ground and caused a saltwater spring to emerge. It was a gift worthy of the god of the seas, but in practice, the water was not useful to the citizens. Athena, on the other hand, offered an olive tree, a symbol of prosperity and peace, which ultimately won over the people. This story illustrates how practical utility often surpasses grandeur. This conflict is an excellent example of how power does not always manifest through brute force, but through wisdom and strategic intelligence. Athena, known for her wisdom, understood the needs of the population and offered something that would truly make a difference. Just like in modern life, where strategic and well-thought-out actions are often more effective than grand displays of power. How many times are we tempted to solve our problems in a grand way, when the solution lies in something simple yet effective? Although Poseidon lost the contest, this did not diminish his importance or power. He remained the god of the seas, controlling vast areas of the world, while Athena became the patroness of Athens. This balance between the two gods reflects the duality between strength and wisdom, both equally essential for success. Ultimately, Poseidon and Athena show us that, both in history and mythology, there is room for different forms of leadership and influence. Now, following this conflict, there is much more to discover about Poseidon's life. Poseidon, known for his strong connection with various goddesses, also had a story with Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. From this union, Despina was born, a goddess associated with winter, in stark contrast to Persephone, Demeter's daughter and a symbol of spring. This duality between winter and spring reflects the cyclical nature of life, where each season has its role and meaning. In mythology, this family dynamic shows how the gods influence the balance of natural forces, from harvests to the weather, directly impacting the lives of mortals. Demeter, in her connection to the earth and the seasons, played a vital role for the Greeks, and her union with Poseidon was symbolic. They represented opposing yet complementary forces, the sea and the land, uncontrollable power and constant nourishment. Just like in modern life, where the balance between work and rest is essential to maintaining productivity, the relationship between these two gods teaches us the importance of finding harmony between forces that, at first glance, may seem incompatible. Through this relationship with Demeter, Poseidon also shows another facet of his personality, his ability to adapt. Even as a passionate and impulsive god, he was able to ally with Demeter, a goddess of a more peaceful and protective nature. This union makes us reflect on how, in our own lives, we can find balance by combining different abilities and personalities. It's through this lens that the ancient gods bring us practical lessons for everyday life, always present in the fabric of history and mythology that surrounds them. By now, you've grasped the grandeur of Poseidon and the vital role of water in mythology. But what does this really mean for your life? Just as Poseidon ruled the sea and its forces, you too have the power to control the waves of your own existence. Water symbolizes both destruction and renewal. So, ask yourself, what in your life needs to be destroyed to make way for the new? Are you ready to face the storms that arise and, more importantly, to learn how to navigate through them? If these stories inspire you to seek more knowledge and wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Together, we will continue exploring the mysteries of mythology and, who knows, find new ways to apply these ancient lessons in our daily lives.